Hello everyone, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very special figure today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Strike and Roar Giganotosaurus. Now this is a figure I've been waiting to get for a long time, ever since it was revealed. I'm a huge fan of Giganotosaurus, and I'm super happy to have a toy of it. For Jurassic World because of its recent appearance. So I'm really happy to have this figure. Just found it at Target. If you watched my recent toy hunt video, you would see that that's when I found this Giga. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at the packaging here. But before we do that, just want to mention that I pronounce this dinosaur as Giganotosaurus rather than Giganotosaurus or Giganotosaurus. However you want to call it, but I personally call it Giganotosaurus. That's the word I'll be using for the rest of this video, that or Giga for short. So for the packaging here we got the standard Dominion packaging, got the Dominion logo, the Strike and Roar Giganotosaurus, and you got some pictures of what it does. It strikes and it chomps, and you even got that famous Rexy pick on the corner there, or on the side of the packaging, and you got more facts information, and it shows you that it's electronic. On both sides of the box, one has the Dominion T-Rex logo, and on the other side just has the logo as well as the Pyroraptor. And taking a look at the back, it just shows the rendering of how this figure works. So, you got the Facts app information there. You got two pictures showing off the T-Rex and the Therizinosaurus, which I do have and did reviews on them. So if you want to, you can check those out. Here it shows you the render of the Giga attacking that poor Rugops over there. Still looking for that Rugops figure. It shows you that it can strike and it can chomp. So it's basically a big dinosaur that can attack little dinosaurs. So yeah, that's basically it for this packaging. Super excited to take a closer look at this figure, so let's take it out of the box. Alright, so here we have the Giganotosaurus out of the box, and I'm gonna be honest here, I really love this figure. I really enjoy it. I think it looks really cool. I got a chance to test out a lot of the features on it before doing this review. So yeah, I really like this figure. I do know there are a lot of people who don't really like this figure for certain reasons, and I understand that based on me fiddling around with this figure here. But this is my own review. These are my own thoughts on this figure. So the overall, I guess, reaction of this toy is, like I just said, I really enjoy this figure. I love having an actual Jurassic Park Giganotosaurus toy. I think it's so cool. Giganotosaurus is definitely a dinosaur I have been waiting to see in a Jurassic Park movie for a long time, and that day has finally come and go. I was excited when I heard it was going to be in the movie, and now fast forward, I've already seen the movie. And it's like, wow, time really does fly, and we already have gotten a Giganotosaurus in the movie. So I'm really excited, or I guess just super happy to finally we'll see it in the movie and have an actual toy of it. A Jurassic Park toy of this new big bad dinosaur. So let's take a look at the detail first. So here on this side of the face, there's a really good side profile here. The face, or pretty much the whole figure, is detailed or sculpted very nicely. You can see here, it's like it looks just like the head sculpt of the Giga from the movie. You can see all the cool little sculpted detail work, especially here on the large crest area, all these large pebbles, and you got some more finer pebble skin detail, and you got some larger ones here on the mouth. And then you got a bunch here on the side of the jaw here, and you can even spot out some scratch marks, so battle wounds, like here. I think there's even one there, and then one back two down here actually, and I think one right there. So you got a lot of cool looking scar marks on here. Let's see, we'll take a look at the head here, or at least the top of the head. So as you can see, the head is really wide. It's not as thin or skinny as it was in the movie, but that's okay. But yeah, here's the top part of it. Not a lot of sculpted work here. A lot of it is kind of smoothened out. You can see some bumps right here, which kind of lead to the crest of spikes back there. The bottom, like I said, there's not a lot at the bottom here, just kind of a lot of it is more smooth, but that's okay. I think it looks good for what it is. Here's the front view of it. Like I said, very wide, not as thin, but I think this looks really cool. And we're gonna get here to the inside of the mouth. So here we got like a nice sculpted work at the roof of the mouth, classic in all kinds of theropod dinosaurs that we've gotten from Mattel. Nice sculpted work on like the skin flaps there, and here on the tongue, which is sculpted very nicely. Texture feels really nice, and I like how it has like the gloss all over it to make it look really wet. So that's a really nice detail there. Here you can see the teeth here, which are not actually sculpted in and painted. These are actually like rubber pieces. So these will not be chipped, or at least like the paint won't be chipped when using this, which is a huge plus. I always hated whenever my dinosaurs who had painted teeth always had the paint chip off after using it. So I really glad that Mattel is using these rubber, solid plasticky teeth on a lot of their dinosaurs so that paint won't rub off on them. So that's really nice. And it's got a double row of teeth, if you can kind of see. It's got like the main one on the outside, and it's got smaller ones on the inside. So that's a really cool detail here. Now the teeth aren't exactly accurate to the Giga from the movie, especially when they interlock like that. That's like an Indominus Rex trait right there. So yeah, the Giga in the movie did not have these kind of teeth that interlocked like that, but I think it looks good for this Giga, so I have no problem with it whatsoever. And here's on the other side. It's basically the same thing, just with some, the only difference is sculpting wise is the claw marks. Like you got a couple here, and you got some here, and you got that classic lip one right there that is actually seen on the Giga from the movie. And then onto the neck here, very nicely sculpted, all these folds and wrinkles here. And then you can see more of it right there. And then here on the bottom, we got like these nice scoots, which is present in the Giga from the movie. So you can see how, I guess, pointy or rough they are. So that's really cool. And then here at the top, you got the famous Giga spikes. Got the larger spikes right here, and then they fade to smaller spikes, and you got the more like crocodilian, like osteoderm or scoots on it. So that's really cool. And they definitely pop out when you point it at like the right direction within sunlight. You can definitely see the shading looks really good, and it makes it pop out a little bit more. Got some more claw marks here and there. I think it'd be cool if I got to paint a lot of these claw marks and make it stand out a little bit more. And you got some more flatter scoots here. That's because of the action feature. And then here on the other side, it's basically the same thing, just with different claw mark arrangements. And you can see the scoots here much better. And then the arms don't have any pebble detail. It's all just like lines sculpted in. You can see some nice muscle definition there. Here are the claws. Fingernails aren't painted, unfortunately, but that's a classic thing that Mattel's been doing, and it hasn't really been bothering me too much. At least they give us that with like Hammond collection figures. And you got some more like rough textured sculpted in here, like kind of like half lines and half like pebbles a little bit. And here at the bottom, just more line work. And then got the arms on this side too. Now get into this back half of the body, which is slightly a little bit more sculpted than the front half, but if you look at it all together, it looks the same. It's only noticeable when you look at it up close. So here at the body here, you got lots of nice scale detail here, and then some more claw marks. And here you got some more line work going on. And the legs, these legs are just decked out in so much scale detail. It actually feels really cool, almost feels real. And you got some really large claw marks there. Now I really want to paint these in to make them look cool. Larger bumps there. Nice muscle definition all throughout the leg. Got the ankle, and you got the foot, which again is decked out in a lot of cool detail. Nice scoots along here, and the toenails are painted. And then here at the top, we got the really big osteoderm or scoots, whatever you want to call them, plates on the back here. They definitely pop out really well, and they feel really cool too when you rub your finger against them. And you got the classic large spikes up here that are really unique to the Jurassic Park Giga. So yeah, I think these look really cool. This almost gives like the Giga like armor, I guess. Maybe these protect it from being bitten from up top. I don't know. They don't really explain that in the movie. And then here we'll check on the other side here. As you can see, the leg is exactly the same, just different claw mark rearrangements. And you can see more of the muscle definition and some creases in the skin here, so that's really cool. Skin folds and whatnot. Yeah, really nice detailing there. And on the body here, and as you can see, the cool looking scoots and spikes up there. And they're sculpted very nicely too. Got some cool little line detail on them as well. You can also see on these feet the dew claw, which I feel like, in my opinion, is a little bit too high. It should be down low a little bit, but that's just me. But you know, I can get around that. And I know they're not painted, but you know, I don't really care. Then here at the tail here, we're getting towards like the back end of the dinosaur. You get more of these scoots along here, and they kind of become a little bit more finer as you get towards the tip of the tail. And you can see these large spikes continue all the way down, sculpted in very nicely, all the way to the tip of the tail. So that's really nice. And you got some more scale detail here, some scratch marks, and the scales kind of fade into like more of this line work all throughout to the end of the tail. So it's a nice little transition there. And you get some more line work on the underside here. So yeah, it looks really good. I can already tell this video is already going to become very long, and I do apologize for that. There's so much to go over. So yeah, you can see the spikes here. They look really nice. So yeah, this figure is like sculpted very nicely, and there are some like very like nice rubbery soft parts on this figure. Like not only the teeth are very soft, but these spikes up here are really soft too. At least these ones up top. Like from here to this spike right here, it's very soft. And then, you know, the arms are very soft too. So you can move them all the way around. And then this part where the button is, one of the button is, this one's like full on like rubbery. It actually feels really, really nice, but yeah, it's a cool little detail there. Probably makes it easier for kids pressing the button. And then the tail here is a really soft too, so that's really nice. Everything else is hard plastic. So yeah, that was pretty much it on like detail and sculpt work. Now we'll get into paint. The paint looks really nice. Matches the Giga from the movie very nicely. I like the greenish color they have going on here. Then you got some like lighter greenish, grayish blue color for the underside here, and it goes a little bit down the neck, but not throughout the whole body. But it's kind of hard to notice on camera, but it's really noticeable in person, especially when you're outside. And what else? The eyes are painted very nicely too. Very accurate to the movie. And then you got the classic dark zebra stripe looking like markings all across the dinosaur, just like the one in the movie. And I do like how they kind of vary in design a little bit, especially here on the face. Like you can see the way the stripes are, the markings are on this face, and then you switch it over to this side and they are definitely a lot more different. So it's like popping out in different places. So I like that. It brings a little bit more uniqueness to the dinosaur. You can even see on the top here, there's a lot more markings on, I think, this side than this side here. And then on the front here, this marking goes past the nose and this one does not have it. And here you got more of the markings all across the body here. So that's really cool. And then you get like 2 splotch marks of them at the end of the tail, which looks really nice. I know it would have been cool if they got to continue all the way down the tail, but I think it looks good for the way it is. And you can see more of it over here. So yeah, really nice color choice Mattel on this figure. Looks very accurate to the movie in my opinion. And just like what Mattel's been doing with a lot of other figures, they've been doing like this marbling effect where they have other colors mixed into this main plastic, which gives it like certain areas of that color splotched in different areas. So you got like this white color splotched here, and you got some here on the neck, and here on the side of the face, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I really like it. It gives a lot more, I guess, detail to the color, adding just like few different colors into the plastic. So yeah, I really like this one. I like the white because it kind of matches with the rest of the colors on this dinosaur. So yeah, I think that looks really well. And then I almost forgot, the inside of the mouth is like this pale pinkish fleshy color, so that looks really good. And the pale color inside the mouth works really well with the main color of the body. So yeah, Mattel, you did a really good job with this Giga. Really impressed. So that was the colors. Love the colors, love the detail. Now let's get into articulation. This Giga does not have too much because a lot of it is kind of based on the action feature. But here on the arms here, they can move forwards about that far and then back about that far. They cannot pivot in and out, sadly, but they can move forwards and backwards. As you can see there. And then the legs, both legs can move basically that far, or at least this leg does. This one moves much smoother than the other one, so I'm just gonna test it on this leg. So it can move far that way, and then it can move back, or at least forward, and kind of a little bit. Then it just kind of goes back to its normal neutral pose. And then the ankles here can swivel, because that's how it comes inside the packaging. Swivel left and right. So yeah, that's basically it for the articulation. Just the arms, legs, ankles. Oh, and I almost forgot the tail. I always thought this was an action feature, but it's not. But you got some cool like movement joints here, just left and right though. So this part of the tail just moves left and right, and then this one too can just move left and right. So you get some cool looking like realistic tail swings kind of. So that's really cool. But yes, now that is the end of the articulation. Everything else is based on the action feature, which we will test that out now. It's got 2 buttons. It's got a button right here where the soft rubbery part of the spikes are. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. Yeah, so hopefully you guys heard that. If not, there are better videos out there on YouTube that show the sounds off much better. So I do apologize for that. So yeah, that's one button that gives it like this really unique thrashing action. And then you got a button here at the bottom that if you press that, so yeah, that one controls the jaw opening, and it gives out like these really cool roars, which are very accurate to the dinosaur in the movie. You have a lot of them. There's one noise that sounds very ghost-like, so that's really cool because it does make a noise like that in the movie. Yeah, that was it right there. But yeah, I like the sounds. I like the action features very much. So yeah, this figure is turning out to be really good, and I'm really happy that I have it in my collection. So to test out this thrashing feature with the Giga on a victim, we're going to use this Owen figure here, and let's see how good this action feature works. Want to make sure it's placed in very well. We'll just hold it like this. There we go. Hopefully that works. There we go. Really cool. And I almost forgot the scan code here, which is hidden right here. Lift it up there, and you got the cool looking scan code going on right there. So I know one of the things that people hated about this figure is the way how it just kind of slumps like that. So yeah, it's either going to be leaning like this or like that. So you cannot get it in a straight neutral pose, like facing straight forward, which I will agree, you know, it's not a good thing, especially for people who like to display these on shelves. But you know what, it's part of the action feature, so I'm not gonna complain about it, and I can't really fix it, but I think it looks good for what it is. And besides, you know, I've tons of people do this anyway, but you can kind of twist up the body to where it's kind of like set it in place. So it's kind of as close as we're gonna get to a neutral, just straightforward pose. Except the only difference is that it's at an angle, as you can see. So yeah, it's leaning to the right a little bit. And then you can even do the same thing where it's facing the left side. Or at least my left and my right, anyways. So yeah, I think that actually works pretty well, if you ask me. I know I can't get it in a fully neutral pose, but I think in a pose like this, where it's as close as you're gonna get, but it's in a cool, like, little, like, kind of like slightly tilting pose, I think this looks really cool. So I don't see what the huge fuss is about. I mean, I get it, but if you can get it like this, you can display it on the shelf and it still looks cool. So yeah, I have nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this figure, in my opinion. I love it. It's really cool. It's awesome. But I guess it's all based on how other people feel about the figure, I guess. All right, so now the last part of this review, I'm really enjoying this figure, is size comparisons. So let's get those out of the way. So here we have our Owen Grady here. And let's see. There is our human compared to the Giganotosaurus here. and I think it's fairly sized. Maybe not the exact same size, or I guess in other words, it's not size accurate as to it was in the movie. In the movie, it was definitely much bigger than a human, but I think this actually matches slightly towards a real Giganotosaurus in the fossil record. So I think this actually looks really good. Yeah, I think they scale very nicely. Maybe not Jurassic Park size, but in real life size, I think that works really cool. Now for the hard part, we're gonna compare it with every single other large carnivorous terrestrial dinosaur within the Jurassic Park franchise. So I'm not gonna include the Mosasaurus, but I will include other terrestrial carnivores. We'll start with the famous one of them all, the T-Rex. This is the Thrash and Devour T-Rex, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, they give all these dinosaurs names. Here they are, and I think they scale up very nicely. Gotta set up the famous match from the movie. And the Giga is taller because of the spikes, at least, and obviously the head. So when the head is like bent down for the action feature purpose, it's definitely not it's not taller than the T-Rex. It's pretty much smaller. But when you put it in a pose like this, it's more accurate pose. So this actually looks perfect instead of its slumped down position. So yeah, this looks really cool, actually. I'm really loving this. And I know that the T-Rex's head is definitely bigger than the Giga's head, but that's just because this T-Rex's head is modified to actually eat people, so it's hollow on the inside, so it's supposed to be much bigger. So I guess I could have grabbed a T-Rex with a normal sized head, but still, I mean, the Giga is bigger than this T-Rex, so there you go. Giganotosaurus being bigger than T-Rex. I think that's a win right there. Next up, the Spinosaurus. This is like one of the newer Camp Cretaceous versions. And this one does not want to stand a lot. So let's see. I wonder... I think this is like its normal position, I believe. Alright, I'm just going to hold the tail. So there it is, the Spino and the Giga next to each other. And yes, the Spino is in fact taller because of the sail, which I actually believe to be true. When it comes to Jurassic Park, I do believe the Spinosaurus is probably the biggest carnivore or terrestrial carnivore in the franchise as of right now. So yeah, these look really cool together. Next up, we have probably the biggest one in the collection, carnivore wise. Here we have it next to the Indominus Rex, which yes, the Indominus is in fact bigger. Which I think it actually altogether would have been the biggest carnivore at all if it actually became fully grown in Jurassic World. Alright, so if we leave the Indominus Rex up in its actual neutral pose, because mine keeps on slumping down, probably just because of the loose joints and all that. But yeah, the Indominus Rex is in fact much bigger than the Giga. By a lot. The Indominus Rex is huge next to it. Hopefully it's kind of picking up well on camera. So yeah, it's a very huge dinosaur. But I think it's really cool to see these two together because the Indominus Rex does have Giganotosaurus DNA in it. And now that we finally have an actual Jurassic Park Giganotosaurus, I think these two look really cool together. And last but not least, just because I think this actually works really well, here we have the Giga next to the Therizinosaurus. As we saw in the movie, they did fight each other, at least for a little bit. And the Thera is actually taller than the Giga. At least if I lift up the head all the way up, at least the top of its head is taller than the Giga. So yes, it is in fact taller but overall, the Giga kind of wins in terms of length and mass. So yeah, these two look really good together. And here we have it. We have the biggest carnivores that the Jurassic franchise has ever seen, plus the Therizinosaurus, which is not a carnivore, but you know, it is a large theropod dinosaur, so it kind of belongs with this whole group here. And I know the Mosasaurus is not part of this, but these are just the larger terrestrial carnivores, excluding the Therizinosaurus. But yeah, here we have all of them. These look so cool together, and I'd be terrified if I was in Owen's position right now. I'd be absolutely terrified. So yeah, really looking forward to see what other large big bad dinosaur will show up in the future of the Jurassic franchise. And here we have the main three from the final battle of the newest Jurassic World movie. So finally, I have all three from the final battle in my possession, and this is just so cool. I can't wait to start taking pictures to represent the final battle from the movie. So yeah, just kind of wanted to show that in comparison with all three of them together. So everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this review today. Sorry it was so long. I feel like the longer reviews are usually the better ones because they go in depth within the entire figure. So apologize for the long length, but I really enjoyed this figure overall. It's such a great Giganotosaurus toy, especially when it's a Jurassic Park toy. So yeah, I think this one is definitely worth getting if you sneak past all of the I guess flaws with the figure. But I think overall this figure is just absolutely cool, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. So hope you guys all enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.